Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is European Comic Center, and this is a long overdue haul video, or at least feels like that because I don't think I've filmed a video in over 2 months now, and it's just taking that time to actually assemble some new books to show you guys. And we're up to 50-50 on Marvel and DC books. I don't know what is happening. Marvel is taking over. And yeah, I'm just gonna start going through the books because I'm sure I have some things to talk about them. So let's do this. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. First off, we start off with all of the Marvel books that I picked up for this time. And starting off with Star Wars, Darth Vader, the deluxe size edition, volume 2, written by Charles Soule and then drawn by one of my favorite SpiderMan artists that I don't want to butcher the artist's name, but he was the artist that was in the very last arc of the Dan Slott era in the Amazing Spider-Man Worldwide series. He was the main artist for that storyline. And yeah, this is the Darth Vader that takes place after the Revenge of the Sith. So in between that and New Hope, so we have a very rookie level type kind of Darth Vader and how he rises to that power level, I suppose you can say. And yeah, I'm really in for the artwork, but I've been following Darth Vader ever since that Darth Vader Omnibus was released. Sadly, it is out of print right now, but if one should get a hold of it, it is surely a good read. And next up, I have yet another oversized deluxe hardcover from Marvel, and I picked up the first volume in, I believe, last haul video, maybe the one before that, and that is the Immortal Hulk, volume 2, written by Al Ewing. And I have not read a lot of Hulk books. I've read Planet Hulk and World War Hulk Omnibus, and that's pretty much it before I started reading Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk. And it is amazing. And it's not just good story writing, it actually makes me want to dive into older story arcs of the Hulk, because it pays an homage to history throughout its own storyline, if one would say that. Jeff Johns is a genius on how to do that with the Justice League and JSA characters all the time, and this really much feels like that, but for the Hulk himself and the previous story arcs. And of course covers by Alex Ross, but the interior, and once again, I'm not gonna butcher any names of the artist, but yeah, it works for this kind of story. And it's just not a horror element, but scientific, of course, I guess. But I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna keep on buying these, and if they would release an omnibus, I'll pretty damn sure I'll buy that too. Next up, I have not one, but I have several omnibus by Marvel that I picked up, and this one, not really a new one for me, either material wise, and I have owned this very same book before, and that is the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus. And as I said, I've owned this before, it's just that very first printing of the Miles Morales Omnibus was terrible. Not to be confused with, let me go check, the Spider-Man Miles Morales book that is with a white spine cover. This is the volume that was released before that, in the continuity and everything. And it was, yeah, it was terrible, and I do not have the skills to fix up a book with that terrible kind of binding. So I sold that for some money and decided to buy this one. So I've read it, but I haven't taken it out of shrink wrap even, but this story, I've read it 3 times now, I think, total, because I reread the first hardcovers that I owned and then the Omnibus. So yeah, I'm gonna reread this as well, because Ultimate Spider-Man universe is a very fine-tuned universe in my opinion, and I'm always gonna look forward to getting to the Miles Morales stuff when I read it. Next up, I want to show you a omnibus that proves to you about not getting into the hype. And I try to talk myself into not giving into all the hype trains and everything, what people speak about. And this proves that not every book is for everyone. And yeah, some people are gonna think I'm crazy about this, but the book I'm talking about is the Uncanny XForce Omnibus. Yes, I got a hold of it within the second printing, or what you're gonna call it. Of course, all the printings of Uncanny XForce that has been released this year has been the second printing, but this is the second round of the second printing. We're not really post-COVID right now, but anyways, I've read this book now, Uncanny XForce, and it was a fast read, and it's good writing, I can't deny that, but I think I need a little more X-Men in my bag to appreciate this story for what it is. There were a few question marks in the air when I read it, but overall, I think I got it. It's just that I think reading Age of Apocalypse for once is really important to get at least 1 or 2 story arcs within this. Overall, you can jump into the series whenever. But I just think this wasn't for me. And that proves to me not getting into the hype. And yeah, pretty much it. Just buy what you like and what you know you like, I guess. This was a blind buy, basically. And I'm gonna sell this. And no, you don't have to ask me. I'm not gonna sell this on eBay. I'm going through the Swedish secondhand market with this one. But still, I think everyone should really learn through my experience now that not every book is for everyone. But solid read if you're a valid X-Men reader, I believe. Sorry, I kind of went a little too long about that X-Men book, but last but not least, for the Marvel books, that is, if I've already shown you this book, I actually went back to the previous 4 videos that I had hauled, and I don't think I've shown you this once, because I don't want to poke this in anyone's face, but I did pick up the Amazing Spider-Man by JMS Volume 2. And as I said, I don't want to poke this in anybody's face if I've already shown you that I have this, but it's still shrink wrapped and everything, and I haven't read it because I am in a Amazing Spider-Man marathon right now. And it goes pretty smoothly right now, but I'm nowhere near this material because I've only read before Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus and the Roger Stern Omnibus as of now. So next up is the McFarlane one and the Clone Saga and everything. Then we get to JMS material, which is the very first Amazing Spider-Man material that I was introduced to as a young kid, and that was in Swedish translation writing and everything, but still I enjoyed the artwork by John Romita and everything, and Mike Deodato, and the story arcs within this one. Of course, we have One More Day, not really the one that I'm that nostalgic about, but we also have Skin, what is it called? I want to say Skin Deep or Deep Skin, something of that story arc. That was really good with this one and everything. And then SpiderMan joins the Avengers and everything, and of course Civil War. That is the top-notch story out of all the Civil War. And I actually liked the Evolve or Die story arc also, the Other. And yeah, that is what you get with this one. And yes, it is square bound. Okay, so that took some time, and let's see how well we go with DC. And I'm gonna start off with the oversized hardcovers, or the deluxe editions that they call them on DC. And we start off with Justice League Origin, deluxe hardcover volume 1. This collects the New 52 era of Justice League, issues 0 to 12. And this is the third time that I pick up this series, or actually fourth if you count the single issues, which I don't think I ever read, I only collected them. But yeah, this is the Jim Lee and Jeff Johns Justice League, and it's the third time, or fourth, however, that I picked this up, and hopefully this time they'll go straight through with collecting this whole series within the same format. I have the complete Jeff Johns within the standard sized hardcover, but I really want them to have a oversized format for this. Whether it be the Omnibus or the Absolute, I am ready for any of those formats, because this, I believe, is the only series that I'm currently double dipping on, except for Hush. That should be said, except for Batman Hush. But it's Jeff Johns and it's Jim Lee. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna keep my faith up for them to complete this series within the oversized deluxe editions. So yeah. And then another Justice League series, but this is the one that was running previous to the New 52, and that is the Justice League of America by Brad Meltzer. And also Jeff Johns have a story arc with this one as well, and we also have Ed Benes. I'm getting confused which one is the writer, Ed Benes or Brad Meltzer. Anyways, we have lots and lots of great artists and writers within this one, and I have collected this series already previous in a standard size format, but as well as my hopes goes to the New 52 Justice League, I hope that DC runs the whole race through and collect this in the oversized hardcover. And yeah, some part of this is even better than the New 52 actually. So yeah, I can strongly recommend this for any avid DC reader. And then last, for the DC hardcover deluxe editions, we're gonna show you some Omnibus too. We have the Batman Deluxe Edition Volume 5. This is the Tom King run in Batman Rebirth series, or it's not really called Rebirth right now or anymore, but still, this is the only hanging title right now at DC that is getting the deluxe hardcover treatment from the series that started off within the Rebirth relaunch, or whatever you're gonna call it, soft reboot. And still, this doesn't collect material up that I haven't read. Last fall, I ended my subscription with all of my comic books, and I basically was just pulling the Amazing Spider-Man and Batman and Detective Comics at the time. And yeah, trying to avoid spoilers as much as I can this last year, and I've been sort of successful, but I still want them to release the very last volume, because this collects issues 58 to 69, and then one more volume to collect 70 to 85 would not be impossible. A 17 issue volume, almost, depending if there's an annual there or not. And then we are in the goal. with Batman Tom King run. And then there's of course his miniseries with Batman and Catwoman that I'm very much looking forward to for them to release within a collected edition. And yeah, now let's see what the Omnibus is all about. So now speaking about Batman, I'm just gonna keep on speaking about Batman, and therefore I'm gonna show you the Batman by Grant Morrison Omnibus Volume 3. And finally, this proves that DC can reach the goal with the collected editions, and there was actually no doubt in my mind about this one. And this I've read so many times because the Batman by Grant Morrison is my Batman. It's my very first Batman that I was introduced to when getting into comic books all of 8 or almost 9 years now ago. And it's so good. And these are very affordable actually, $75, and with the Instocktrades discount you actually get a bargain for it, about $45, give or take. And yeah, I love Grant Morrison's writing, and especially on his Batman run. The very first volume or the second, I don't know which one is my favorite, it's all so good. And the Batman Robin material and everything. And Batman R.I.P. It's so underrated. I think I'm very biased, so I just think I'm gonna talk about you picking this up anyways, but follow your heart and do so if you think it's for you. There are several review videos actually of this material on my channel, so you can check out those links on the playlist. So yeah, one more book to go. One more omnibus to go, and that is one of my favorite series out there, and it's from when I discovered the Vertigo universe. That is Preacher by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. And this is volume 1, and it's gonna have one more volume to complete the series, and it's just wonderful. You can look up several Preacher videos, and if you like the TV show, for all the better, read the actual comic book. It is even better. I appreciate the Preacher TV show. It's not exactly like the comic book, one cannot say, but I think it's very much because of the lead actor also that I do like that show. Although I've only seen season 1 of it. But still, Preacher, it's a great example of what Vertigo put out within its publishing time. Now it's more known as DC Black Label, and luckily it only says DC on the side, but we'll see what it says for volume 2, I guess. And with that, that is it. That's my haul for this time around. I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll stay for another video. Who knows when it'll show up. I have to start to giving my heart more to the channel, but my studies have been starting up again. So whenever time is due, I'll make another video. And as I said, I started doing a reading marathon of The Amazing Spider-Man, and I'm also now rereading the Avatar: The Last Airbender library editions published by Dark Horse. So I guess those are 2 things that I can make a video about. You tell me in the comments if you want to see something like that, and until then, I'll see you in another video. Bye bye. I'm gonna have to stop having all of these 1 or 2 months intermissions between videos, because it feels like I'm losing the touch with the camera and everything, and how to speak properly in front of it.